afternoon. On my way back to West Virginia. I'm in Baytown right now at what is called Buc-ee's. Buc-ee's of Baytown. Right over there's a sign. There's Buc-ee's himself, statue. Just thought I'd show you guys a little bit about this store. For those of you that's never been around one, probably one of the largest stores I've ever been in. Gas station. But man, do they have a lot of stuff inside. I'm gonna walk through. Hey, good morning, Sino, or good afternoon. Hi. I guess it's morning for you still. It's right afternoon for me. I'm on my journey back. I don't have any means by which to hold my phone other than my carrier or my truck, which we'll continue to do. But I just wanted to show you guys this store. Yeah, Buc-ee's is awesome. It's huge. It's freaking massive. Good morning, everybody, or good afternoon. So we'll do a quick walkthrough. I don't want to waste my time here, but you'll see how busy it is and how massive it is. Yeah, so we'll do a quick walkthrough. Of course, I got registers on each end and right here in the middle. The main doors are. Of course, you got all your coffees, you got all your drinks. There's a wall over there. You got a bakery, burritos, tacos, jerkies, all kinds of jerky. Yeah, so it's been a while since I've been in this store particularly. If I had to guess, 2015. Yeah, tortilla factory. They literally make tortillas on this machine for sale. You can order what you want. You kind of got a little place here in the middle. This store is humongous. There's the jerky area. See all the different types of jerky that they have. This is what they're really infamous for a lot, is their jerky availability. It's usually fairly inexpensive. Ooh, it's pretty high dollar right now. I was buying it for $22, $23 a pound. Right now it's $32 to $35 a pound. Of course, you can see they even got a truck in here. I mean, come on. There's clothes everywhere, hats, souvenirs, all kinds of stuff. So, like I said, they have registers on both ends. This is one end of the store, as you can see here. And it goes all the way back there. But yeah, clothing, all kinds of stuff. Pretty much get anything you want to eat here as well, kind of. Not many groceries, mostly junk food, snack food, whatever you want to call it. I call it junk food because that's all it is junk. But yeah, so they have what they call beaver nuts or beaver nuggets. And they're kind of infamous for that because Buc-ee's is supposed to be a beaver. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can buy all kinds of souvenirs and whatnot. And like I said, this store is humongous. And here's your beaver nuggets that everybody fames for. I don't know why. To me, they're really sweet. Excuse me. To me, they're really sweet. I'm not going to go out. That's the door I was parked at. I just moved around. Yeah, I am parked back there. I'm going to go ahead and go out that door. I walked around the front so that you guys can see the front of it. But yeah, the store is huge. And you can see it's crowded. It's crazily crowded. I already got my cup of coffee, already refueled. I'm headed back to Bunker Hill. Headed back to West Baghdad, Virginia. I am in the east side of Houston and or what is considered Baytown. But it's basically the outskirts of Houston. On I-10, headed east. A little ways down the road here, I'm going to pull over and show you a rest area that I built back in 2010, 2011. I built it in 2011. I got my rental. That's my rental right here, the little Toyota Tacoma. You can see the parking lot is humongous. If I had to guess how many pumps they have here for fueling, mind you, every island is double-sided, or every stall here is double-sided. Of course, you can get fuel on each side normally. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There are 24 locations to get gas in. 24 guys. That's just the island. 24 islands. Put 4 cars on each island. So that's what, 96 vehicles can fuel at once. That's a lot of fueling. It's a lot of gas. Gas is fairly cheap here. I believe I just paid $2.88 a gallon for the cheap stuff. So for some of y'all, that's going to be very inexpensive. It's the cheapest I've seen gas in Texas yet was $2.88 here. I believe it was $2.95 or $2.97 the other day when I drove through here. I came through here basically on the exact same route back, but I came through here on Thursday, and yeah. So thank you all for being here, guys. Thank you for coming to my live, and thank you for all the support, of course. But like I said, I'm going to take you guys down the road for a little while. We're going to go to that rest area that I built back in 2011. It was right after my first neck surgery that as a matter of fact, that was my return from the surgery. Before Christmas surgery that I had 3 weeks later, January, I don't remember which day it was that I returned to work, but nevertheless, it was 3 weeks after my surgery of December 20th. And my boss says, so did you get a note to return to work? And I said, yes. He said, bring it to the office. I want you to follow me out somewhere. And he drove me all the way out to where we're headed now. It was quite a drive. It was an hour away from the office. And yeah, so drove out there, and that was the first job I got back to after my first neck surgery. And it was a job that only had about 2.5, 3 months worth of work on it. Wound up being 7.5 months worth of work, 8 months worth of work, because it was a state job, and it had to have personnel on the job daily, to the satisfaction of the general contractor. So we were able to work out a deal where I was able to work 4 tens. That way I didn't have to drive out there 5 days a week. I only had to drive out there 4 days a week. So yeah, like I said, it's an hour out, and I was burning, at the time, gas was like $1.50, $1.60, something like that at that time, and I was burning $200 a week because it was 3 miles short of being the distance allowed in order for them to recompense my fuel. So it's taking money out of my pocket to be able to work there, but you know, it is what it is. It's what we do. And then you get back out here on the freeway. Oh, there's the exit right here. This is I-10 right over here, and I'll be on I-10 all the way up into, what the heck are these people doing? Come on. I'll go cut you. I'll cut you all off. I've got no time for this. I'm trying to get back. Homeboys over there cutting them off too. I lose my patience here in Houston. I just don't like to drive here in Houston, though I lived here for 10 years. All right, I'm going to try to go back through some of the chats. Heard Buc-ee's. You must get the Buc-ee's Nuggets snack, although I'm not sure what it's called. It's Beaver Nuggets. I did. I have 2 packages. I bought them the other day when I stopped in the other Buc-ee's on the south side of Houston. That's actually important, but yeah. Thanks for showing us this. I've never been there. It's actually, people are amazed when they come to this store. I mean, it's kind of understandable why, because you just saw it's humongous and crowded, and it's always like this during the regular work week. They still have a ton of business that comes through here. Yeah. This place was not built in 2010, 2011 when I was driving out a little farther down the highway. This exit right here is exit 791, 792 is where we're at, and I'm going to exit 817. So what's that, 30, 91, is that 20, about 28 miles down the road, give or take, 27. This is where the rest areas are at, and they're built on I-10, so when we pull off, they call them the safety service area, something like that. We'll see when we get there. I was kind of proud of being able to build those rest areas out here, because that necessarily allowed me to leave my mark here in the state of Texas of people that will, throughout the world, will probably be able to see. They don't know that I did it, of course. There's no names or anything like that, but I know I did it, and that's all that matters. My family stopped through there when we were building them. They were coming back from Louisiana when I was building these, and they stopped in, brought me some boudin. We had lunch together, things like that. You know, it was pretty cool to be out there for the 7.5 months that I was there. And simple job, but a lot to it. I think each side of the rest area, because they have the one headed eastbound, and then they have the one headed westbound, and they're identical basically across the highway from each other. I think they have 5 buildings, maybe 7 buildings total. There's a couple of different wash areas, bathrooms. Of course, there's the main location. We'll go in there. I'll show you guys a little bit about it. And I did some spiral duct in there. It's all exposed, hanging off of aircraft wire. You know, I had to put the grills at exactly, I think it was 26 degrees or 28 degrees, something like that. So, yeah. To me, it was pretty impressive what we did here. It looks really good, in my opinion. And you get a little bit of history about Texas right there with all the information they have in their little displays and whatnot. But yeah, you guys get a chance to see it. When I came through the other night, it was kind of late. But when I came through that one, excuse me, they had removed the playground from the site. I don't know if people got hurt. I don't know if it was due to COVID. I don't know why the playground's been removed. But you'll see when we get there. Everything's elevated off the ground because that is technically swamp land where we built those. The year that we built them, the summer that we built them in 2011, it was probably the driest summer we'd ever had. I never saw any swamp area. I've gone by these rest areas a couple of times since they were built in my life, and I've never really seen a swamp, but the ground proved that it was swamp area. I mean, we could see the way the ground was hating life, cracking and breaking and everything, because it was so used to being moist all the time. But for some reason, I haven't seen any swamp land. Mosquitoes, probably the worst set of mosquitoes I've ever seen in my life there. I went to go set a piece of equipment one thing in the morning, first thing in the morning, and when I reached out to pull the plastic off that unit that I was going to slide into place, when I reached out, my arms were totally, and this is no exaggeration, no BS here whatsoever, from like my elbow all the way down to my fingertips was completely covered in black from the amount of mosquitoes that swarmed my arms. Both arms were that way. I was like, what the heck is that? And I brushed them off real quick, realized they were mosquitoes, and I was like, dude, we need to get some mosquito spray. So we ran back to one of the stores there, which, was like 3 miles down the road. So we run to one of the stores over there, and we go to purchase some off mosquito spray. And the little bottle, I don't know how many ounces it is, but there's a little, I could, if I had to guess, it was probably an ounce and a half, 2 ounce bottle, maybe 3 ounce, but you know what I mean by the little bottle of off the little spray can. $9 for that little bitty thing. But it was understandable because after I got attacked by the mosquitoes, yeah, people want mosquito spray and they'll pay for it. And they know that, so they took advantage of it, of course. But yeah, $9 for that little bitty can. Almost unbelievable, but yeah. Yeah, so I thought it'd be cool to show you guys Buc-ee's, and at the same time, that's not the beginning of my journey. I've started 3 hours ago. I left Aransas at about 9:30 this morning. To be here at this Buc-ee's at 12:30 this afternoon. Let me just say I wasn't driving normal. That 3-hour trip is what it normally takes just to arrive to the south side of Houston, not the east side of Houston. And for anybody that knows, Houston's kind of big. Yeah, like kind of really big. So for me to make the journey that I made in 3 hours was pretty impressive to me. I've never done it that quickly. And I won't tell you the rates that I was going, but yeah, I got through there pretty quick. Anybody that hears that and knows what I'm talking about, you'll understand. Like as in a cop would understand, but whatever. So last night, so Friday evening, got together with my classmates and some others that came to the reunion as well. They weren't part of our class, but they were part of our high school. It was pretty funny because I got to meet a lady that I thought she was really, really pretty when we were kids in high school and junior high, grade school, whatnot. She was a year older, and she was one of the ones crashing our party the first night. She was there, and she was like, yeah, I'm not from your class, but I figured I'd go ahead and come out anyway and hang out with you guys. And I was like, well, that's cool. And I said, but who are you? I said, who are you? And she says, she tells me her name. I was like, oh, I know who you are. Of course, I don't recognize them. Like I said, guys, I hadn't seen these people in 41 years plus. And I said, oh, I know who you are. And she was like, I have no idea who you are. I said, that's fine, because you're in my class, not me in yours. So, but no, we ended up being friends, having a good time, talking for a long time, her and I. And that evening, she befriended me on Facebook, so that was kind of cool. Yeah. I got to see my high school sweetheart. I say high school sweetheart in the sense that I had a major crush on her and we were pretty good friends. But I think at that time in life, I was in the friend zone, if you will. We didn't use friend zone back in the day. I don't even remember what we called it back in the day, when a girl just kind of put you on the back burner. Maybe not her type, I don't know, but yeah. So it was cool to see her. We spent a lot of time together. We exchanged phone numbers. We've texted since then, so that's been pretty cool. I got to see some of the other women that I call them women. I don't mean anything by it, but I mean back in the day they were all kids. They were all girls and boys, because there weren't 57 genders. I'll tell you that. So it was really nice. I had an enjoyable time, surprising to me. We did bowl because we were at a bowling alley. I bowled a couple of games with a couple of the guys that were there. They were husbands or boyfriends to the women that I knew. So that was pretty cool. But the girls were my classmates, and their husbands were, well, we just had a good time bowling. I did okay. One game I only bowled a 136. The other game was even worse than that, so we won't even discuss that one. Though I did break 100. Sometimes that's just the goal, to break 100. Of course, I'm very sore from it. I hadn't bowled in a while, so my old body doesn't take kindly to those strenuous things that we might do with our bodies at any given time, like bowling. So my arm was sore for a couple of days. I feel okay this morning. But yeah, yesterday. And then yesterday, so that was Friday night, doing the reunion with my classmates. Saturday morning, we got up fairly early. And my nephew was graduating college, vocational tech school in the HVAC industry. He's not necessarily following my deal, but he went to school for it to become an HVAC technician. He's already got a job. He's getting paid pretty well. Well, he had his graduation ceremony yesterday at 11 a.m. So we went to that, got done with that. That was pretty cool. I took a couple of pictures, a few, but yeah, that was pretty cool to go to that. And then, of course, they had a party for him last night, him and his cousin. We had a party for him. It was already planned at the house and everything, but where I was staying. So we had a party, and I'm trying to see what my speed limit is through here, guys. So yeah, we had a party. Well, I'd never been to again, guys, he's my cousin, but he's more of a brother to me because we grew up together at a very young age. I was 6 when I moved into the household with them, and I was there till I graduated high school. So, for 12 years, we grew up together as brothers. So if you hear me say my brother or my cousin, I'm basically talking about the same individual, which is my cousin Wayne, my brother Wayne. But I've heard he's had parties. I've never attended one of the parties that he's had there at his house. But I had heard he's had parties, and people have told me, man, when Wayne throws a party, Wayne throws a party. And I was like, well, okay, whatever, like I said, I'd never experienced it. Last night I get back from the reunion because I wasn't trying to rush my time through the reunion, but I was trying to rush my time so that I could get back to the party for my nephew. I felt like it was just as important, if not more important, to be at the party for my nephew as it was to go see my classmates. So I split the time. I ran over there. The reunion technically was beginning at 7. I got there about 7:30. Went in, saw a bunch of people I hadn't seen in forever, and that were not in my class, but as well as people that were in my class. And we had a great time. And then I told Lisa and everybody else that I had to go ahead and go. And because I had a party I had to attend for my nephew. And they said, yeah, that's kind of important, Frank. I can't believe you're even here. And I was like, well, I wanted to be here with you guys, but at the same time, I want to be there for him. So I go back over to the house. I always park in the yard under a tree so that I get the shade because it's hot in Houston. It's hot in Texas. But I always have a particular area that I park. Well, when I arrived, if I had to guess how many vehicles were on the road, parked on the side of the street, it's a back roads. It's not a formal passage, basically, but it's a back road. If I had to guess how many vehicles were parked out on the street, per se, there was probably 20 to 25 vehicles. Mind you, my cousin has a large yard, and there was probably 12 to 15 vehicles in the yard. So there was probably if I had to guess, a good 30, 40 vehicles there, easily. I was like, geez, when Wayne throws a party, Wayne throws a party. Apparently, I'm finding out about that now. Through the night, after I got back, when I got there must have been 50, 60 people there. As the night wore on, the count came up to about 70 on the regular. And of course, there's people coming in and out continuously. And if I had to guess what that number would have been, I'd be willing to bet there was at least 100 people that came through my nephew's graduation party at his house last night. 100 people came through that area. It was insane. They had a DJ. My cousin cooked 2 briskets, 4 racks of rib. I think something like 30 to 40 sausage links, like the kielbasa sausage. About 40 or 50 links of that. Of course, they had rice, they had beans, they had all the, sides that you can imagine. Potato salads, and I mean, and my sister-in-law, she makes some of the best chile, salsa that you can get. And she made me some salsa, and she always tries to make it hot so that I will appreciate it. She thinks I don't appreciate it whenever it's just salsa. But I don't mind that she makes it hot for me because I love the spice. She had made some Friday when I got there. As soon as I arrived at 2 o'clock in the morning on Friday. At 8 o'clock in the morning, she was making me salsa for the eggs. It didn't come out hot. She was very disappointed. She was like, Frank, don't eat it. And I was like, no, Karen, it's fine. I said, it's more for the flavor than it is for the picoso. She was like, but Frank, I'm embarrassed. And I was like, Karen, it's okay. It's still going to taste like salsa. And I ate some, and I was like, yeah, you're right. There's no picoso to it whatsoever. She was like, why you got to tell me that? She's like, I'll make up for it the next one. So last night when I got back from the reunion, I get there, and of course, she's got me this huge plate ready. She says, here, I made some salsa. I was like, all right, cool. And she didn't say anything more. She just said, yeah, I made some salsa here. She hands it to me, and of course I pretty much gathered up the rest that was in the bowl and poured it onto my food. Took the first bite, and I was like, oof. Thanks, Karen, for warning me. She's just smiling at me. Kind of like, ha, 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 you deserve that. It's fun. You'd have to understand our relationship, but it's pretty funny because she loves to make me hot salsa whenever I come over. But she did. She made some great salsa, and but I finished it. So she immediately made more. So I had plenty of salsa to eat with my food last night. That was pretty cool. She's a fantastic woman. I miss my family. I wish I could be closer to my family. I just couldn't find a job that paid well enough in the area, not to survive in the area, but to be paid accordingly for what I know, my experience. And anybody gonna pay me $20 an hour to come and work for them, I'll tell you that. I'm worth a whole lot more than that. I know that, they know that. They're just trying to get a cheap guy. If I had to work by the hour, my price is more like 38 to 50 for the knowledge that I have. 34 years in this business does not come easy, and it doesn't make me cheap, that's for sure. Some people can be 34 years into their career and be the same as they were when they began. Not I have plenty of knowledge in it. One of the great things my nephew was telling me yesterday, he says, man, Uncle Frank, the craziest part about knowing this business, he says, is the side work, because the side work pays really well. I said, oh, yes, it does. Invest it, do something, yeah. Because you should be able to survive. I mean, heck, he's a kid, literally, he's a kid. And they started him out at $19 an hour because of the field that he's in and because of the schooling that he's had. And which is, in my opinion, a great starting wage for a kid. He enjoys it. He's having a good time, which is great. I told him, I said, if you love what you do for a living, mijo, you'll never go to work a day in your life. Enjoy it. Appreciate it. Here's my rest areas coming up. Enjoy it, appreciate it, and you'll have a fantastic career. You know, I didn't start my career. I think he's 19. I didn't start my career at 19. I didn't start my career until I was 24. But the 24 to today, I still love what I do for a living. I may not like the job that I'm working on, but I love what I do for a living. It's just something that I took a hankering to whenever I first began. So, yeah, so it takes at 8:14, not 8:17. The other one's 8:17 coming back the other way, headed west. So you'll see there's a frontage road. For those of you that's never been in Texas, Texas has frontage roads, feeder roads, however you want to call them. Basically, it's a side street that runs parallel to the freeway. Has exits and ons where you can get in, on and off the freeway. And here is my Chambers County. We're in Chambers County. Chambers County Safety Rest Area. Right here in the sign. Chambers County Safety Rest Area, Texas Department of Transportation. Oh, I should have. I'll go this way and then turn around and go back. So you can see they got a walking path. This walking path goes all the way around this whole rest area. They got free Wi-Fi here if you pull in to come and rest. Free Wi-Fi. It's kind of busy today, surprising, but that's okay. We're still going to walk through. We're still going to take a walk through it. I'll just park on this side. There's more parking back there, and of course on the back side where the tractor trailers are at. But yeah, so basically everything about this building, all the platforms that I'll walk on, and everything is elevated. Nothing is based on the ground except for the parking and the sidewalks here. But all the rest of everything else that we'll walk across will be elevated 3 to 4 feet, 2 feet, something like that. Now, I built this thing, like I said, back in 2011. It still looks that immaculate, like it did when I first walked away from the job after being complete. They did a phenomenal job of the upkeep on this place. I think I'm gonna leave. Now I'll turn it off. I was gonna say I'll leave the truck on for now, but now I'll turn it off. I have my sunglasses on, so I won't be able to read anything inside. I'll just, if I can. When I say I have my sunglasses on, guys, it's because these don't have readers in them, and I have to do that in order to be able to read because they don't have a reader in them. But then I have to be right up close to the object in order to read it because I can't see far. So, yeah, that's the way that works. And of course, they got a Texas and a U.S. flag. So this rest area was built in as a memorial to the individuals that lived here. There used to be a cistern. It might still be there. A water catcher cistern from back in the day. But this is a guy that is dedicated to James Taylor White. A veteran of the War of 1812, James Taylor White migrated to this area from Louisiana in 1828. As a rancher, he developed one of the largest herds of longhorn cattle in southeast Texas on White's ranch in June 1832. Area colonists signed the Turtle Bayou resolutions written to protest the actions of Captain Juan Davis Bradburn, commander of Mexican troops at Anahuac, which is 9 miles southwest. Anahuac is known for its crocodile area, alligator area. The resolutions were an early sign of the growing dissatisfaction with Mexican governmental policies which limited the rights of colonists. 4 years later, during the Texas Revolution, White provided aid and shelter for the settlers fleeing the advancing Mexican forces under General Santa Anna, which you'll see there is a memorial in here. It's a miniature size of, I think it had something to do with, it was given by Santa Anna to Texas, I think for defeating him. I don't know. He also helped the Republic of Texas by supplying cattle for the Texas Army. Following the Revolution, White began driving his cattle overland markets in New Orleans. His early cattle drives utilized sections of the Opelousas Trail, preceded development of post-Civil War routes, including Dodge City and Chisholm trails. White died in 1852 and was buried near his home 200 yards south. His cattle brand, the Cross W, inherited from his father in 1806, is still used by members of the White family. So 200 yards back that way is where, well, I guess technically it'd be over here, is where he was buried. And I believe it's near the cistern. I believe the cistern is, yeah, it's on this side of the freeway, not on the other. So like I said, this was a playground for children. They got a few signs of information around, where's that one? There it is back there. There's two right there to tell you things. But we'll walk in. So this is all tin roof, of course, all structural steel. It was quite crazy whenever we were building this thing. So here's that monument that I was telling you that Santa Ana gave to the state of Texas for that. So the spiral pipe, that begins at 30 inch and then it breaks down. So you got a Texas Revolution timeline here. Battle of Anahuac, Rise of Santa Ana, Disturbance of Anahuac, Battle of Gonzales, Goliad Campaign of 1835, Battle of Concepcion, Consultation, Fight, Conclusion of Siege of Bexar, Texas Declaration of Independence, Battle of the Alamo, Runaways. That it was a fort for the. You can see here that's a steel gate. They can close that gate in order to prevent people from using the restroom there. Same thing here on the men's side. The visual, you can see that they like that. They're kind of just laid in place the way they. So this building back here is the maintenance crews building. Of course, they have little outcrop shelters here that you can go and have a picnic with your family, or stop in. This is the back side where all tractor trailers. When I came through the other side the other day, there was 28 tractor trailers parked in the parking lot, and all the spots weren't filled. I don't know if this one here is just as big or any. Yeah, I think it is just as big. As you can see, it goes all the way around back that way, and it comes all the way through here, and all the way back over there. So it's a lot of parking area here for tractor trailers. And of course you can see they got pretty good sized room. This trailer here parked in his parking spot. He's got a good 4 feet on each side, 5 feet maybe. That's how big the parking spots are for them. I'm gonna walk back here to this other, this is the other restroom building. Oh no, it looks like they got a fence up. They're building a new walkway, or they're repairing it. It looks like they're repairing it. I wanted to tell you guys something about the way they were doing this work whenever I got here, or when they got here. Where each one of these legs are at going into the ground, they drove them in with stakes, because this is hurricane area. Like we're in a hurricane zone kind of area here, but all this is usually filled in water. For some reason, it's not. It hasn't been, to the best of my knowledge, in a while. There's another way over there. But anyway, so they on the 6x6 6x6 post, they had where you could angle a 4-foot rod, approximately a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. I don't recall. I think it was 3/4 of an inch in diameter. And they would like here's this is round, cylindrical, but imagine it being a square. So you would have a stake that would drive down on the right hand side. You'd have a stake that would drive down back this way on the left hand side. You would have this one in your face, drive down that way, and the one on the other side, it would drive down this way. These guys are out here, 2 guys, like on the chain gang, like on the train rails back in the day. 2 guys beating on a stake to put it into the ground. Now mind you, let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 6 posts just in that side, so there's 6 and 6. That's 12 posts. That's 48 stakes, 5 foot long, we'll say, that they were driving into the ground. They had 2 guys one on the left and one on the right, because one was right-handed, one was left-handed, and they were taking turns swinging on that stake to drive it into the ground, like they used to do back on the railroad. Well, I told them, I said, if you get a large compressor, you know, an Ingersoll Rand, one of them with wheels, and it produced a lot of pressure in the system. If you got one of the, you can see one of the stakes right there, and then there's one on the inside here. So yeah, that's like the face, and that's the right-hand side. Anyway, so I told him, I said, if you get a large Ingersoll Rand compressor, bring it out here, and you get a jackhammer, and put a nub on the end of your jackhammer. You can put that nub onto the head of that stake, and you can drive it in with the compression of the jackhammer. They were amazed that I was able to give them that information, because next thing you know, they had 2 Ingersoll Rand compressors out here and 4 jackhammers, and they did this work 3 times as fast as they did the last job, and 2 times as much work, because I told them how they could make that work easier, just from me saying it out loud. Men, women, family restroom, custodian here. I don't think there was anything to see. This is, but yeah, so we did that work. So this way. So you saw a couple of the outcrops, a couple of the pavilions where people can sit down and eat. Here they've got 3 in this pavilion. So, so that's 1 building, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe it was 7 or 8 different places. Curious critters. Residents of Chambers County Safety Rest Area. An armadillo. Northern raccoon, coral snake, copperhead, and a green tree frog. Nice pretty plant. This is that walkway that apparently got washed out, where that's closed off over there. Yeah, that looks like it's been through some damage of sorts. Wow. Like I said, guys, this place was built in 2011. Here we are 12 years later. These boardwalks still look okay. I mean, except for that one, of course, but like I said, it's 12 years old, but it still looks great inside. Flitters and spinners, bird watchers bait. Got the monarch butterfly, blue dasher dragonfly, mosquitoes, of course they're everywhere, and banana spider. Thank you guys for being here, appreciate it. And that is a web going from here all the way up to that tree. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm trying to get a position here. I think you, I don't know if you can. Can't really see it, but the web begins here and it goes all the way up into the tree. Yeah, it's a huge web. The spider, actually, I think they call this a wood spider. Let's see, where'd he go? There he is. Okay, so there's a wood spider right in this general area right here, and he's probably, looks to be at least 3 inches big. Let's see if we can catch him from a different angle. There he is. I don't know if you can see him now. Where'd he go? Da-da-da-da-da. Just can't see him, guys. He's there though, right? He's right here in this general area. Yeah. But anyway, so I guess we need to go ahead and get down the road. I guess I'll carry you guys. I don't know. We'll see. See how far down the highway we get. Just thought I'd stop and share with you guys real quick. Let you know how my weekend went. I'm headed back home now. It is a 22-hour drive is what it told me this morning. It told me I should be back at 6:30 in the morning tomorrow. And then all of a sudden it came through and it jumped up to 7:20 tomorrow morning. And I don't know why I did that, but we'll see what time I get home. Hopefully I don't have to stop other than for fuel, literally, body fuel and or vehicle fuel. But yeah, so let's get on down the highway. I don't want to waste any time, and I know I just took some time off my schedule by stopping here with you guys. How long have we been on? 47 minutes. So we got here about 15, so well, that was a 30-minute time thing there, so maybe, give or take, 30 minutes. But yeah, so anyway, pretty cool. Like I said, I'm pretty proud of having done this place, because I know millions of people get a chance to see it. And whether or not they appreciate it, which I know that they appreciate the rest areas, but whether or not they appreciate the work that's, what it takes to do that work, I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm proud of it. That's all that matters. And I know people get to see it all the time. So that's it. So when I was working here, you can see there's only one way to get into that place. And you had to drive all the way up here. It was a if you had to make the whole loop, like say you were on this rest area, you had to go to the other side to get something and then come back to this rest area to finish what you're doing. It was almost a 6.5 mile trip to make that loop. They wouldn't pay my gas. I couldn't understand it, but anyway. So yeah, you can see you had to come all the way up here. There's a crossover right here on the road over the freeway. And that's what we'd have to do in order to turn around. Set. Behind. Yeah, so this is basically a 3-lane freeway all the way back into Beaumont, Texas, and then it's another 35 miles to the Louisiana border, state of Louisiana. You guys hear that little ring in the background? Wow, I didn't even look to see if there was any chats going on. Hey, the missus, how you doing? Good morning. Yeah, it was chaos in there, so no. Hey, Dolly 444, how you doing? Thank you for the safe travels. Sandy, hello. Oops, I'm trying, guys. Sandy, hello. You're not too far from me? Oh, okay. Hey, hi, Tyre. How you doing? Good morning, afternoon. How many hours do you have ahead of you? Give or take. If I had to guess right now, I just took 4 hours off the trip, so I probably have about 18 to go, give or take. 18 hours in front of me. Like I said, it says I should arrive around 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. Hey, Estewa, how you doing? What brought me to Texas? High school reunion and family, to visit family. I haven't seen family. I haven't been back over here since 2021. And I was invited to my high school reunion, my 40-year high school reunion, which was the first high school reunion I've been invited to here in Aransas. Understandably enough, I did not graduate here in Aransas, but I did attend most of my schooling here. So when I received the invitation, it was almost like as if I couldn't say no. And when the invitation comes from your old high school sweetheart, you have a tendency not to say no. So yeah. But like I said, I didn't know my nephew was graduating. It just so happened that they coincided, so I was able to quote unquote kill two birds with one stone. Yeah. And like I said, I get to visit family. I grew up here. I love this place. Wished I never had to leave, though I do. So Wayne was asking me, when am I going to be back? I don't know when I'll be back, but I will be back. That I can promise. I have family here. His mom, my aunt, had a rough spell a couple of days ago. She fell. She's older, mind you. She's in her 80s. She fell. He thinks he's going to have to go over there and help take care of her because his sister needs to go to work. And she's the one taking care of her now over there in Oregon. They're in Oregon. So Wayne may be headed to Oregon shortly. We don't know. Do you guys hear that ring-a-ling-ling? Let me try to shut it off. Try to get through some of this chat. Oh yeah, Sandy, the Buc-ee's is amazing. Hey, Tommy Temper. I'm doing just fine, thank you. Love Houston and I-10. I hear you, Dolly. Hey, Summer Blossom. I live in Northeast Houston, really? I just came out of there. All the Hispanic sites. Yes, definitely. We had all the Hispanic sites. I'm going slow. People are going to run over me if I don't speed up. I'm going slow, guys. People are going to run over me if I don't speed up. I hope y'all saw that. Like Old El Paso? No. Old El Paso sauce has nothing on fresh made salsa that my sister-in-law makes. Karen makes some of the best chile. That's actually chile. I use salsa because it's easier for you guys to understand. To me, it's just chile. My sister makes the best chile up in Dallas. She loves hot, spicy stuff like I do. And my sister is the bomb at making chile. I will say that. Salsa, I will say that. She always has been. Nobody's ever been able to do it better. Except for maybe my Aunt Janie. But my Aunt Janie never made it too spicy. Or real spicy. Sylvia makes it spicy, which is what I prefer. Yeah, we're cruising, guys. Good afternoon, Gloria. Safe travels on my way to great grandson's spot. Oh, will you be careful headed down to see your grandson and enjoy the game. It's always wonderful to see those young children playing baseball. I miss it because, you know, my kids don't do it anymore. They're all grown. My grandsons aren't in tune to baseball like we were. But, yeah, here, hold on a second. Put on my do not disturb sign. Oops. What the heck? Do not disturb. Okay. Alright. No sound. Is he on the phone? No, what happened was that I kept running into a dead spot. That rest area there, because all the metal that we used in the buildings, I'd lose signal in there. I knew I would, or I assumed I would. Sure enough, I got into the restroom, into the toilet area, and I lost signal a couple of times. So I tried to hurry back out and put you guys back online. Poor signal, but there is sound on my end. Not hearing anything. Losing a signal. Hey, Patricia. How you doing? Lib228. How you doing, Libby? Libby? Yeah, Libby228. How you doing? Good to see you guys. Hey, Michael Russell. How you doing? Watching from Ohio. You up in Ohio right now? Okay, cool. I'm down in Texas, headed back to Bunker. Pretty nice. I don't think I've been. Okay. Safe travels. Yes, sir, as always. I'm good. Thank you. Nice to hear you had a good time in Texas. Yes, I did, the missus. I had a fantastic time. I'm so happy that I didn't take the time to do this. Come through Missouri Ozarks. I will buy you dinner. Oh, I would love to, but that's not where my rig takes me, and I've been to the Missouri Ozarks maybe a friend of mine from Utah and I would like to go and hang out in the Ozarks per se, over in, I'll remember the name of the town in a minute, Branson, over in Branson, Missouri. We'd like to go and hang out over there again if we have an opportunity. So Shooter, whenever I come out in that area, I'll more than likely give you a holler. I'll probably be live streaming. You can holler at me and we'll go have dinner somewhere, lunch, something. Hang out, say hi, meet each other. Yeah, sounds like a plan. But today, now I'm on a timeline. I was going to go up and see my best friend, but it was adding 4 hours to my drive, and that's not including the time that I would spend visiting. I couldn't afford to do that right now. It would cost me too much time to get this vehicle back to the airport and get it turned back in. They took a $400 deposit. They'll look for any reason possible to keep it. So, yeah, I don't want to miss my return time. I think the last time I missed a return time, it cost me $200 right off the bat. I'm not willing to do that again. So yeah, I'm not on a time crunch. I'm just on a time schedule. And I want to make sure that I make my time as well. I thought this coffee would be warmer, but it's not. Of course, I guess it's been sitting for a minute. Wow, I've been on for almost an hour already. Seems like we just started the live stream. I'm at 8:31, so it's 40 miles from Buc-ee's. So it took me 58 minutes to travel 40 miles. That's shameful. Oops, sorry guys. Didn't mean for y'all to hear that. I'm guessing you can hear that when I accelerated. Time flies. It most certainly does, and it really does fly. Like I was talking to my brother this morning, I was like, Wayne, time's up. Time for me to go. Time for me to head on back. It was like, man, Frank, nobody's awake. I was like, I gotta go. I'll see him next time around. Tell them all hi and bye for me. Yeah. But yeah, so I was gonna bring a barbecue pit. Well, actually, I was gonna bring the smoker back. He can't locate the smoker. He loaned it to somebody, and the guy hasn't responded. It's a big old smoker that he gave to me years ago. I had to leave it when I moved to Alaska. So of course he took it back home to prevent from losing it, and he's holding it for me for whenever I have an opportunity to pick it back up. Last time I came down in a car. He cussed me out for not coming in a truck to take my smoker. So this time I rented a truck, and now he can't find the smoker. So yeah, not that big of a deal. It's all good. I have a small smoker on my pit up here in Virginia, so West Virginia. A couple of you guys left comments on my last video, and y'all always leave me wondering why. I guess I don't know. I know I've heard it from you guys many a time, and it's humbling. I'll say that, to say the least. But somebody left a comment and it says, Frankie, you need to do more live streams. We love hearing your voice. And it makes me giggle, but at the same time, it's kind of embarrassing. I don't understand it, because what I hear of my voice is definitely different from what you guys hear. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the notice of as often as you guys have told me things like that. But it is. It's humbling, and it's kind of embarrassing. Not in a bad way, just, like you making that comment just kind of, yeah. Mostly it makes me feel thanked, appreciated. And I appreciate you guys giving me comments like that. I'm not going to say few and far in between because I get them all the time from you guys. It's just, a lot of times it's hard for me to say anything in return other than a thank you. So if any of you that have made comments like that to me in the past, please know that I truly, truly appreciate it, and I thank you from the bottom of my heart for saying things like that. It's humbling to say the least. Yeah. And I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you guys coming and supporting my channel. I've lost a lot of subscribers. Don't care. Doesn't matter to me. In all actuality, I know that those subscribers are coming back. Not necessarily the ones who left, but I will get those subscribers back as this channel continues on. I honestly believe that it will continue to grow. You guys have heard me say often enough that I have anxiety problems. I have, I'm an antisocial, don't like hanging out with others. All the different things that I say, to me, it's a Southeast Texas crawfish farm over here. There was this, as a matter of fact, I think that little red and white sign right there says it. Let's see what it says. Southeast Texas Crawfish Farm, just like I said. So anyway, a lot of times that I think within my own brain, I think, and I have to turn down the some of the things that I want to say out loud. Sometimes I think that I need to find another way to state it so that it still makes the same impact of that comment. I guess you could say, but in more polite words, to say the least. You guys have heard me on two different ways of me speaking, I'm sure. You've heard me somewhat angry, you've heard me very calm, level-headed mostly. I often find myself biting my tongue instead of saying things that I really want to say out loud. Mostly because I don't want to be offensive. I don't want to offend people that are watching my channel, that are subscribers, that are, regular subscribers and always attending my live streams kind of thing. And oftentimes I feel like if I say something like I'm thinking at the moment, it would be offensive to some of you guys, and some of you guys would not want to participate in my live streams anymore. I'm not avoiding doing that to prevent losing subscribers, losing viewers. I'm avoiding doing that trying to be a better person. Because I know I can be offensive. I know I can be boisterous. I know I can be all those things. I am that, But through the years and with age, I'm sure, mostly, I guess you could say I've become more attentive to the way other people feel by my words. I think it's my words that's gotten me in most of my troubles ever in my life, particularly with relationships. Women. One of the things that I've heard on numerous occasions throughout the years, I shared this with a friend the other day. It's been a few weeks, but yeah, I shared this with a friend the other day. people are often taken aback by things that I say because they don't comprehend. Sorry for using these words, guys. It's just the way it comes out of my mouth sometimes. Because they don't comprehend the words that are being used. I grew up in a time in life when words had meaning, major meaning. You didn't use words unless you meant it. Today's society is more about trying to use those words to make them look better, to make themselves look better, in my opinion. I always try to make that clear about my opinion because a lot of people get offended. But my opinion tells me that people, I'll tell you straight up the way I told the person the other day, and it's probably going to be offensive to some, but such is life. I feel like a lot of times whenever I speak, whenever I have an issue, and I use my words to speak, I speak with quote unquote more intellect, using different words, using bigger words, using a variety of words to make my point to come across the way I need you to hear it. I've been told too many times in my life that I talk down to people. I'm speaking down. She told me that so many times in my life. I feel like you're always condescending and speaking down to me. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm not trying to speak down to you. That's definitely not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to parlay a message to you. I'm trying to let you understand in your mind, in your head, what it is that I'm trying to say. In my opinion, without being an asshole. And they're offended by it. They feel like I'm being condescending and speaking down to them, and that's not my intent by any means. I've had several relationships. That was the biggest gist of the breakup. I'm condescending and I speak down to people. My opinion is that here's where it gets rough. My opinion is that you don't have the intellect in order to comprehend what it is that I'm saying. So therefore you feel repressed by my words instead of trying to figure out what it is that I did say. And that's a cover, that's a facade that people will put up in front to prevent from having to understand exactly what it was that I did say. If you take a moment and you realize what it was that was stated, I think that you would learn or understand why I used the words that I used, because I was making a point from the get-go. Mind you, I've been thinking about this craziness for quite some time now because it's been going on for quite some time now. But it's all good. You know, life is life. We'll go on. One of the funny things that I found out last night, I graduated high school at the age of 17. So did my high school friend, Lisa. She told me last night she's the baby of the graduating class because her birthday is in August. Yes, she's a Leo, but her birthday is in August. I think that's why we never hooked up, because she's a Leo. But anyway, well, my birthday is in July, which is in a few, I don't know, what, a couple of 3 weeks. And she was telling me that she's the baby of the graduating class. I said, no, you're not. She was like, yes, I am. I was like, how can you be? And she told me because my birthday's in August. And so, well, mine's in July, and we're both 65. So she was like, oh my God, Frank, you're the other baby. They told me that there was 2 babies in our group, and I never knew who they were. You're the other one. Oh, that's a good possibility, because we know nobody else that has a birthday after July 15th, and or after August, for that matter, because her birthday's in August. I don't know what day, but yeah, her birthday's in August. And so we're the 2 babies of our class. That's what I found out over the weekend. That's kind of funny. But yeah, so just thought I'd share that. I found it ironic. So a lot of the people that I met or got to see last night, Friday night, I think I told you guys earlier, I hadn't seen the majority of these people in 41 plus years. I mean, if you guys can think about that for just a moment. I mean, I spent second grade through 11th grade, 9 years, 10 years with these same people, yearly. School year after school year after school year after school year. And my junior year, right before Thanksgiving, we headed back to Utah, and I never came back for school in Texas. So without a doubt, it's been 41, I think it's going closer to 42 years, 41 and a half years that I've seen any of those people, or most of those people. And got to see some guys that, we were friends back in the day, and I just never perceived that person to be that kind of a person. And spending the weekend with him a couple of days, Robert's his name, spending the weekend with him, or spending a couple of days with him over this weekend, he would have been my kind of guy to hang out with. We weren't close friends back in high school or back in school, but we knew each other. It wasn't like as if we didn't know each other. We just didn't hang out. And buy the bride a drink and oranges. What? When did you just get married, girl? But yeah, he is a cool guy. Robert Allen, he's a cool guy. I really enjoyed hanging out with him, talking with him. He came to me and he says, "You know who I am?" I said, "No." "But do you know who I am?" He said, "No." When we first saw each other the Friday night. And then he told me who he was, and I was like, "Oh, I remember you." And told him who I was, and he was like, "I do remember you. We used to do crazy stuff together." And a little bit, not too much. We were both a couple of little skinny runts back in the day. We mostly ran from the upperclassmen because they were always trying to set us on water fountains and stuff like that. The initiation freshmen in high school. And that was one of the things that happened for me, was that I had attended my freshman year in high school, received my credits, and then when I went to Utah did not have the freshman class in their high school. So technically I began my high school career in Utah with 0 credits, like the rest of the students, but technically I already had credits for my high school year. So I spent I spent all of my sophomore year in Utah. We went back for my junior year to Texas, and then right before Thanksgiving we went back to Utah my junior year. So I only spent a couple of 3 months there in Texas that last time. And went back to Utah. Well, when we went back to Utah my junior year, it was still the sophomore, junior, senior high school. When my senior year began in 1982, they had moved the 9th graders, the freshmen, up to the high school, so that it had 4 classes in the high school, like the average high school: freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. So my senior year, when they revamped the wow, I'm already almost in Louisiana. Yeah, sure enough. When they revamped the high school there at Bear River High in Utah, and they admitted the freshmen into the school, I automatically received my freshman year credits from Texas. A counselor took me in and says, "Frankie, you can graduate high school at half a year." You can graduate after Christmas break if you choose, or you can finish the year out with your classmates, whatever you choose. Well, I wasn't going to graduate early. What the heck? Am I stupid or what? If I finish my school year, I can just goof off for the second half of the school year because I don't need the credit. I already have enough. And that's exactly what I did. But I did it in a good manner, at least according to what the teachers had to say about it, because I went to the different classes. For the second half of the school year, I didn't really attend class. I went to the different classrooms of my quote-unquote favorite teachers, more favorite teachers, and I went and I helped tutor the younger students. I was a teacher's aide for my English teacher, and he also was the teacher that taught German. And of course, most of his students were freshmen. We'll just leave it like that. So I was teacher's aide in his class. I was just like a tutor for the other classes, helping the students with the lessons as the lessons were being given and or, they were being worked on by the student. And that's what I did my second half of my senior year in high school. I did have one class. It was an early morning class. My second semester, or my second half of school year there. And it was I would go over to the second graders, to the elementary school second graders, and I would read them books and help them to learn to read. I would read to them, and then I would allow them to read to me, and we would go over the words so they can learn to pronounce them correctly and do the things like that. I've always had a knack for English. I don't know why. All of my years in school, I aced English. I was a straight A student in English from the beginning to the end. Not so much in Spanish, go figure. But yeah, in English, I was pretty much English and math. The only time that I didn't really get perfect and or good grades in English and or math was whenever I had my motorcycle accident and lost my memory. That was my first quarter of the sophomore year when I did not receive any of my freshman credits. I began my sophomore year, second quarter, right before Christmas break, second quarter, with a .0007 GPA. I had failed every class, literally failed every class. The reason why it was .007 was because I had a D- in one of my classes, as opposed to an F. All the rest were Fs. The worst grades I ever made in my life, worst grades I ever made in school, period. Of course, I changed it all around once I came to reality. Changed it all around, and I ended up graduating out of high school with a 3.7, so not a bad change around. People talk about how difficult it can be, and I worked diligently. I worked hard at it to make sure that my credits were going to be, or to make sure that my GPA was not going to be shabby. I didn't anticipate getting into any colleges. I had applied to 3. I had no anticipation of getting into any college due to my manuscripts, and but because it was part of the curriculum per se to apply to these different colleges that I would have wished to have gone to. I went through the process and I did all that. At the same time, my senior year, when I was going through that process, I had already signed up for the military. The moment I turned, the moment I turned 17, I was able to sign up into the military with a guardian's signature. So 2 days after my 15th birthday, or 2 days after my 17th birthday in 1982, I signed the dotted line to render myself government issue, GI. So that would have been July 17, 1982. June 1, 1983, 6 days after graduation. I graduated on May 26, 1983. 6 days after graduation, I was on a plane headed to Fort Jackson, South Carolina to begin my boot camp. Six days after graduation. Did all my boot camp in Fort Benning, Georgia. There's two different names. Something in AIT, Advanced Individual Training. But yeah, so I did all that there in Fort Benning, Georgia. I think I told you guys some of the story, or part of the story, or all the story. Heck, I don't know. Figured I'd share as soon as I was thinking about it. But yeah, I mean, that's basically the way my life began. Unfortunately, there's a part of my history that a lot of people don't know. I hold back somewhat thinking of sharing this. At the same time, it can show you how strong a person can really be, and pretty much vulnerable and or weak as a person can be. My brother, Wayne, whom I just left, whom I love to come and visit, whom I love to death, we had a lot of issues when we were young. He was jealous of me, and I was jealous of him. He was jealous of me because I spent all my time with his dad. He didn't get the... Oh, stuff on the road. He didn't... Yes, guys, I'm driving somewhat like a maniac, but hey, it's at 75 mile an hour through here, so whatever. He and I didn't get along very well. His way of taking care of things, and that's for sure, his way of taking care of things for his livelihood, for himself, was by attacking me, basically. I was this little bitty, thin, little bitty guy. He always beat me up. He was mean. He was mean to me. My brother came and visited our family for a while, my younger brother, and Wayne took his side, loved him to death, and anytime Anthony would screw up and I would get on Anthony about it, Wayne would get on me about it and beat me up. Not a very pleasant life to be living, guys, as a 15, 16, 17-year-old. So one day I've got this filleting knife in my hands, and I'm gonna peel some potatoes, start dinner, whatever. I was in a bad, dark spot. I'm dealing a lot with what was going on. As a kid, you know, I guess more than not, a child can't deal with things as well as an adult can, and they find quick escapes, quick escape routes, quick ways to get out of things. Don't want to do things to begin with. This is the first time this will ever be said out loud to anybody, even to myself. But having that filleting knife in my hands, I felt my best way of dealing with what it was that I was dealing with was to attempt suicide. I have a scar on my wrist. I remember when I did it, it didn't work. Naturally, I'm here. But of course, I had to go to the doctor to get the wound suture. The doctor was no fool. When I got there, he looks at the wound and he asked me how many times I tried to cut it open. So what do you mean? I was peeling potatoes. Yeah, okay. My aunt wasn't in there. My Aunt Connie wasn't there. It was just the doctor and I. She had a weak stomach, so of course she couldn't be in the room when he was stitching me back up. And that's why I think that's why he was talking to me about it. But he noticed that there was more than a slice because I had attempted to hit the vein and I could not, and I had sliced through my wrist. Probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 times, trying to make it happen, and I couldn't bring myself to make it, to do it anymore. So of course I had to get stitched up, and he noticed that there was more than one slice across my wrist. It's part of being a doctor, I'm sure. I never went through that phase again. I never had a time in life that I had those feelings again, to that extent anyway, until my wife and I separated, when she wanted to leave, so I kicked her out. The thoughts, of course, yes, they cross my mind. You know, I think it's, I don't want to say a natural thing, but I think it's a thing that occurs naturally sometimes for people. And I didn't react about it because I already had the experience of how to deal with it and go through it and get it over with, you know, to dissuade that thought process. Mostly because of my children. Without a doubt in my mind, it was because of the kids. It contrived me to share that story. It's definitely nothing I'm proud of, but I think it's something that maybe somebody had to hear that come out of my mouth today. I don't know. That's why it was brought to the, like the cream at the top, you know, it was brought to the top so that I could speak on it. Who knows, maybe it's helped me back in my life with things in my life, subconsciously, and I was unaware of it, and maybe this is my way of dispelling that and getting rid of that mentality, thought process, or however you want to look at it. I don't know. You can see there, that's a Whataburger sign. Showed you guys Whataburger the other day for those of you that were attending the live stream. I guess it was Thursday. There's a lot of things going on in our world right now that can push people to possibly be in the same position I was many years ago. With COVID and everything else that's gone on in our lives. I know that the suicide rate is higher right now than it has been or maybe it was last year, than it has been in many years. And that's why I needed to share this story today. Like I said, that's never been spoken out loud to anybody. You guys I have shared a piece of information in my life with you guys that I've never really shared with anybody. I think maybe 2 people in my life have heard that story. And those were only people that I entrusted that story with. Telling you guys this story today, it doesn't mean anything to me today like it did then or like it did years past. Because I know that I'm better than that. I know that it's definitely not my goal. It's not my place to be. It's not where I'm headed in life today, that's for sure. God's got much greater plans for me, and I know that, and I understand that. I was sharing a different story with somebody the other day in reference to that, and the fact that I'm having issues with the daughter-in-law. My point is that it's unfortunate in a lot of ways. I feel like I'm going to outlive the majority of my children, if not all of them. Why I have that feeling within me, I have no idea. It's got to be God-given, I think, to some extent. There's an accident up here. No parent should ever have to bury their children, but I have a feeling I'm going to be stuck in that position later in life. Upon God's choosing. So it's not necessarily being stuck in the position, it's just dealing with the position when it comes to, if it comes to fruition. I do not know that. It's just an inkling, a feeling that I have, and 99% of the time my gut feelings are correct. And that's scary to me because, we'll just say that's scary to me. I hope this doesn't add too much time to my trip. I think I told you guys the other day I got stuck on a freeway for 2.5 hours. In Virginia, coming out of Virginia, the first night I traveled, Wednesday. Get up the road or get out of the way. Sorry, guys. Yeah, me and my maniacal attitude driving. The accident's on the other side of the freeway, guys. Come on, just quit rubbernecking and drive forward. Hey Schmeck, how you doing? Sorry guys, I wasn't watching the live chat, so I'm gonna go through it here. Okay, here we are. Shitter cat. Sino. Time flies when you're having fun. LOL. God bless you, my friend. We'll see you on the East Coast in a few months. Okay, Michael, that would be cool. We look forward to that. Double Eagle. We're always the hardest critics on ourselves. You got that right, Sino. That's very true. Schmeck. Yeah, I know, Dolly. It's kind of... Hey, Dixie. How you doing? Good to see you, Mama. Headed back. Oh, you know Schmeck too, Dixie? Cool. Yeah, I'm still waiting for him to come and visit me. Thank you, Donna. Safe travels. Thank you. People need to have faith. God will solve your issues if you have faith and take your troubles to God. Without a doubt, Michael, without a doubt. Hey, Jeannie, you made it, Jean. I saw your comment the other day. I did like it and put a heart on it. So I saw that you saw that I had been live, but it was a short one, so yeah. But thank you for being here, Jean. Appreciate it. You're still my number one, young lady, just so you know. I definitely know who you are. We'll just put it that way. Come on, guy, get up the road, man. You're in the fast lane. Let's go, let's go. But there's a lot of craziness going on in our world. Like I said, it pushes people to, in my opinion, to those thought processes that I dealt with years back. Like I said, I don't deal that way. I don't think that way anymore, and I'm not affected in that manner anymore. thankfully, God has resolved that issue in my mind, I guess you could say. Knowing that He has something greater for me to come makes it a little bit easier to live my life in all reality. Sometimes it can be disparaging as well, because too often, and I try to not get into that position, at least mentally, too often I get the impression or the feeling that I'm say it out loud, that I'm invincible, like I can't be touched. Jeez, dude. I don't like that feeling. I don't like thinking that way. And the reason why I don't is because I know that it can lead me to do stupid things. I don't like using that word, but I know that we can be stupid at times in life. I know I've done very many stupid things in my life. But I definitely don't want to feel invincible, like I can't be touched. And sometimes that happens. Just need to plug my phone in here. I need to be cognizant of that and prevent that from happening in my mind mentally. I have the capability, I know that. Don't get me wrong, guys. A lot of people, you guys have heard me say so often, more often than not, about the positivity that I like to have in my life. Louisiana state line in the Calcasieu Parish. Calcasieu. A lot of what you guys have heard this afternoon that I've been live streaming is that I believe I lost my train of thought. It's kind of a lot of what I said this morning, what I've said so far in the live stream, in my opinion, is kind of negative. In my opinion, it's a lot negative. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm just trying to share a bit of life that I dealt with, because I know my shared experiences with you guys could also help alleviate you having to experience my experiences by me sharing them with you. I learned that mostly through the I have to go to the restroom. I learned that mostly through the teachings of Go Figure. Exit now. The casino is the fastest way to winning. Delta Downs. Stop LNG, really? Cowboy Country. McNeese State University. We are in Louisiana. Gas prices aren't too bad. I thought they were going to be more expensive than that. Not bad. Exit 7 before it's too late for Delta Downs. Get your head out of the clouds. Or cloud. What are they talking about? Smoking dope? Maybe. That would be a copper. Copper. Police. Policeman. Alabama breakfast. Hats of Henderson. I have no idea. I guess it's West by, or I guess it's Louisiana. Let's see. I'm back though now, right, Jen? Are you here? Do I need to restart? Oh, looks like it just went up and viewers. It was at 9, now it's at 12. I think I had 30 before it dropped out. And for those of you that are here, correct me if I'm wrong if you're here, Shooter, but I believe it was Shooter that left me the comment the day before yesterday about do more videos. We love to hear your voice. Thank you. I'll work on the more video thing, I guess, literally. Yeah, we're traveling up the highway now there, so. Like I said, just came in Louisiana. Hit the shops, the verge. I don't know, a lot of you, I think a lot of you people are a little bit schooled in knowledge on the things that you can do in Louisiana. You know, I guess the Mardi Gras makes it most infamous, in my opinion, I guess. To me, personally, it's shrimping. The shrimping that takes place in this state, and that's because my uncle, the one that raised me, the father to my cousin's house that I just left, my cousin's place, that father is the man that raised me. He was Cajun. He was from here in Louisiana. I believe he was born in either Lake Charles or Cameron, I believe. And yeah, so necessarily we have family here. Fortunate enough, David Wade, my nephew, he has a cousin his age that's part of the Cajun family here, the Rocca family, that lives down there close to Wayne and them. So they get to hang out and see each other, grow up as cousins, knowing each other closely. He was a big part of the party last night. And yeah, so it's always nice to see Alex. Good kid. I didn't know him for a long time. I'd come over and, you know, he'd pop in and out here and there throughout the time that I lived in Houston. And so I didn't get to know him that well, all right? Just some young kid, you know. I mean, David and them, they were much younger too, so. But now that they've gotten older, of course, they're a little bit more in tune to the adult life as opposed to the kid life. And so they choose to associate more with us adults, which is a good thing, you know. It's the way that kids learn things these days, through their adults. That's the way it's always been. The biggest thing I grew up knowing all my life was that my peers, the only peers that should have an influence on my life, basically, were my parents. School was for learning. English, math, science, social studies. Learning discipline through sports. Gym class, basically. Learning to be a team member. Very important things that I don't know how well these things are being taught in the curriculum of today. I can only hope and pray, for I don't have children that are attending these schools. I have grandchildren, and I hope and pray that their parents are attentive to what is going on within their schools. For me, seeing it from my perspective, my angle, this could create problems. Seeing it from my perspective, my angle is that children of the age of children want to say this? I want to say the kids of today, because the kids of today are my children. But it's that generation, that adult generation, I guess. I hate using the labels that they use for our generations, like Gen X. I have no problem with Gen X. I'm very proud to be Gen X. I'm first year Gen X. I claim it proudly. I don't like using the word like millennial, or I don't know. The word just doesn't seem fit, appropriate. Though I think about the word and the different ways that it can be used in context, depending upon the context, is new age, new generation, new, different, changed dramatically. For me, it was the participation trophy era. It's all my children. First year my kids played baseball, they didn't get a participation trophy. The second year they did, and I was like, what? Why do I need an extra $20? Are you insane? They didn't win anything. Why are they getting a trophy? Oh, it's the new thing. Well, whatever. Yeah, boy, was that a new thing. Again, millennial. And I hate using the term, but they're kind of the epitome of what I just said earlier. But I feel like that group, my children, it's more about I can't wait for the moment that I can send this child to school and get him out of my hair. Did I say that out loud? Even younger yet. Shoving the phone in the child's face to babysit him or her. And for those of you that don't know, I'm sure the majority of all of you know. For those of you that don't know, whenever you're talking about a particular group, you always use the formal male, or use the context as a male description as opposed to a female. It wasn't intended to be a bad depiction or a bad way of seeing things. To me, it just seemed most appropriate. To the best of my knowledge, if God created man in his image, Jesus came as a man, so that was number one, because that's what God is, number one, a man. He says we're created in his image, so that's my way of looking at that. So when speaking like I was, you'll always hear me use him unless it is specifically a female that is being spoken of. That's what we were taught in school. I think now they like to use words like they and them. Erg. You know what I mean? Pronouns. Just by saying that word out loud, it turns around and tells me something else to say. It reads in the Bible that those that are of satanic or demonic use not quote-unquote pronouns, but use words such as we, they, them. Maybe not we, but they and them for sure. I know that I've read that. Now that I'm saying that out loud, here comes another thought process. So the other day was Father's Day. I have two They're very similar. I thought they were even identical, but they're not. Two Bible apps on my phone. One is the Bible, and the other one's the Bible. So the verse, it gives me a verse of the day. And the verse of that day being Father's Day. And don't quote me on this. I won't give you the exact scripture. I don't remember the scripture. I don't remember. I couldn't. I can find it, but I don't have it in my head right now. But it was talking about relenting to your father. For me, I believe that it was talking about me to my father as in God. But reading into it, understanding it, or reading it from a different perspective even, would let you know that it was talking about your dad, your father, your true father, your human father here on earth, to obey. I'll have to find the scripture. I'll try to get it posted or even talk about it later. I have to remember where I'm going because I don't have my maps up. You know what? Give me a second here, guys. And it's probably dead. No, it's not dead. Cool. Almost. No, 50%. All right, cool. Give me a sec. I'm opening up another map because I'm driving down the road talking to you guys in a live stream. I do not have a map by which to follow. I know the route. I also know I can get lost. So I choose not to take any chances, and I'll do it appropriate. Make sure I'm following a map. So give me a second here as I type in an address. Yes, I know I shouldn't be doing this driving down the road. Leave me alone. I have thought processes running through my brain, and I think I need to get them out, and you guys are here, so why not get them out to y'all? What do you think? I don't normally talk to myself. I feel like I'm talking to myself right now because I'm not able to. It says I still have 17 hours to go, so let's go. Arrival time 8:40. Wow, the time just keeps changing, guys. Mind you, it started at 6:43 was. Hold on. 6:43 was coming over here, but it was something close. Trying to see at my mind's eye. I can't find the Rolodex, the correct card. Nevertheless, I know I had it down to 6:27 a.m. to arrive. And I also knew that I was going to have an hour time change, so it was actually going to be 7:27 per se. And right now it showed me 8:40. 8:40 a.m. for arrival. Dude, I guess I need to slow down. Oh, here's that bridge. This goes... Lake Pontchartrain? Maybe. I think it's Lake Pontchartrain here. I think Lake Pontchartrain is one of the largest lakes in the country. I might be wrong. I said one of the largest. I didn't say the largest. But Lake Pontchartrain is pretty big. I crossed it from another direction. Get out of the way. He wasn't going to let me through, and then he slammed on the brake. Other people's kids, I tell you. I do have a bad driving habit, and that is impatience. It looks pretty cool out there. I like the way that looks, especially with that big American flag. So I was talking about the Bible, about that particular application on my phone. It was offered to me so that I could read the Bible. Good. Hear what I said. In order to read the Bible. Okay. Just remember that. So it gives me the verse of the day. Like I said, it had to do with obeying your father. The scripture specifically reads, Father. Doesn't read anything else. I looked in several different Bible versions. King James, New King James, NIV, something else. That was another American Standard. Every scripture in those different writings of the Bible used the word Father. Didn't use anything else. Used the word Father. So I'm like, all right, this is pretty cool. And I think I posted it, guys. I don't know if y'all saw it. I posted it somewhere. I don't know if you guys follow me on Facebook. You guys know my name, Frank Barrientos. That's all I am on Facebook. Maybe DAC Boys might be there, or DACBOYZ if you want to follow me. You can look me up. If I'm not mistaken, but all the algorithms probably been reset, or all the tabs that I had blocking this, whatever kind of thing. I think all that's been cleared because they keep resetting my stuff. So you should be able to find me. Like I said, it's Frank Barrientos and or DAC Boys on Facebook, and you can go see some of the things that I post. I post it on Facebook, Safe Chat, Instagram, True Social, and I'm trying to set up an account now so that I can start posting things on Telegram. I just haven't finished the process yet, I think. I don't know. But anyway. So if you want to follow some other things that I post, I should, but I don't, because I don't get the option at the time. I would have to do a copy URL link, blah, blah, blah. Post it on the community channel, Frankie Bobby channel. And 9 times out of 10, if you guys see something like that, or let me rephrase, 9 times out of 10, whenever I see a link like that, I will not open it. So in my mind, interpretation is that you guys would be the same, whether that be true or not. Nevertheless, so I don't like to do it that way. I don't like to just leave a link. I don't like to write things on it. Sometimes I prefer if they have a little caption, headline, or a caption to it. That way I don't have to write anything in. If it's very interesting, I will specifically write a must read or please watch. If you see that written on any of my posts, you'll know that that is probably something that would be very interesting to go ahead and watch or see or read, whatever the case might be. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit about the way that I think of these things whenever I do post and when I do put them up. These are my intentions. You can take them or leave them, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. Nevertheless, I just wanted you guys to kind of understand the way I post things if you go and decide to follow me on other channels. So, it's Father's Day. You know, I had already sent text to my children as far as fathers. And wasn't necessarily awaiting a response, but I knew I would get a response, whatever that may be. It didn't matter to me, nevertheless. So I share this post about this listen to your father scripture. I hit share. It asked me who I'm going to share it to. And so I go and send it out wherever it was going. I think it was Facebook, guys. I haven't gone back to look. For it. I should have. I will now, especially that I'm speaking on it. Gone and said something about it. Removed it even, which was my first inclination. FYI. So I go and I share this scripture, and I'm thinking it's going to be about Father. And lo and behold, does the application change the wording and use the word parent, parents, parenting, whatever the word was, however it was used, it changed from father to parent. Why do they do that? This is the Bible, people. This is an application that is trying to change the way we think. And how many people have this freaking app on their phone? I keep it on my phone. I know that's not how it was written. But the application changed the share, changed the wording. I was so perturbed that I just got off of the phone completely and went and did something else because I didn't want to deal with it at the moment. I was pissed that they would change the word father to parent. Joe, I'm guessing you guys understand where I'm coming on this. Like as in birthing person? What the hell is that? Come on, people. A birthing person. A feeder. What are they? My bad. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. But anyway, they talking about breastfeeding. They had a particular way of saying breastfeeding. And I'm like, what in the world is wrong with the world today? Where are these people coming from that are thinking these things up and pushing them upon us? You're trying to change my whole vocabulary. Why? To suit you, to fit your liking? That's incorrect. That's wrong. That's damning, in my opinion. You're going to go to hell for something like this, especially trying to change words of the Bible. To me, that's, in my opinion, in my mind, blasphemous. And that might even be read in the Bible somewhere. There will be false prophets. I remember hearing that. I find this application to be a false prophet. What do you think about that? Is my thinking correct or incorrect? Somebody the other day argued with me about my moral compass. I think I was telling you guys the other day I didn't get into it. I don't think I got into a big conversation in reference to that. But I think we all, at least I used to think, that we all have some kind of a moral compass. God, that's God-given. That can't be removed. That can't be taken away. Yet it seems to have been. Go figure. How does that happen? Influence? We're creatures of influence, just like we're creatures of habit, just like we're creatures of all the other things that God has bestowed upon us, given us, blessed us with. And people use it, in my opinion, in the wrong way. I hate using that phrase, in my opinion. I feel like I'm being I told you guys earlier how I feel like sometimes I have to use different words in order to explain things because the words that I want to use would probably be offensive to people. So it's kind of like a censorship. I feel like I'm being like I censor my. I censor myself because I want to talk to you guys. I repeated it because I didn't know if it said that. Anyway. I censor myself to not offend you. Is that correct on my part? Is that being kinder? Is that being gentler? If I have to be outright honest about that, to me it's oppressive. But I know I've heard one to wait very often in my life. You have to give in order to get, or you have to give in order to receive. I was watching, I think it was a PragerU short, a reel, whatever you call it, the other day. And the question that was asked of the individual to respond to was, if you could ask God for anything today and it be given, what would it be? The young man says out loud, "Can I be honest?" She was like, "Of course you can." All right, so if I could ask God anything right now, I don't think I would ask God anything. I think I would tell him how thankful I am for everything that he has ever given me, for how thankful I am that he is my father, how thankful I am. And he went on and on and on, and it was probably, in my opinion, the best. And I only said that way because, anyway, because the way I always pray to my God that way. Yes, I do ask him for things, but I ask him for mostly simple things. Yeah, there's times that I ask him for more than I know that I guess you could say he would be willing to do. But I do try to ask him for as much as possible when I do. Not for me in particular, but just of him. But for me, it's usually discernment, wisdom, knowledge. A lot of times when I pray to him, it's for solace. It's to console me inside. Does it work? Can I answer a question like that? My opinion is I'm still here, so apparently he's done something for me, because I've been in bad spaces here lately and earlier in life, and yet here I am. So the things that I've prayed of him or from him have pretty much been given, because I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I still feel like I have a purpose in life, all the things that are necessary in order for me to continue with what I got. All right, people, one of you's got to do something. I'm ready to get up the road. I don't know, maybe a lot of what I'm saying right now is a bunch of gibberish, who knows? I don't know, maybe you guys get something out of it. And that's the most I can ask of. There's a reason why I do this. I don't know why it is, but yet I do. I still feel like I'm being compelled. There's only one that compels anything of me, and that's my Heavenly Father above. These kids are looking at me right now, sitting in the back of that truck. That's pretty cool, dude. I used to do that back in the day. I've been there many a time, riding in the back of a vehicle. They'd be chilling. Crackling sausages and boudin. A lot of memories were sparked this weekend. I didn't get to see my buddy that, quote unquote, my best friend here in Texas. I didn't get a chance to see him. I was going to add 4+ hours to my return home. Did I have 4 hours to spare? Yes, I did. I probably have 8 or 9 hours to spare. But I never know what I'm going to run into. I mean, think about it, guys. I'm running down a freeway, or up a freeway right now, and for all I know, it could stop all of a sudden, and we could be sitting there for hours. That's what happens sometimes. That's what happened on me coming down, was we got stuck on the freeway for 2.5 hours. Just sitting there, idling, trying to rest, but not trying to fall asleep, because I was afraid that if I fell asleep, I wouldn't be awake when traffic started moving again. So it's not the time for me to sleep. It was only a time for me to rest and try to relax, mostly. It's one of the things that driving does for me, especially with the radio on. That's one of the reasons why. It's one of the biggest reasons why I haven't live streamed much of the trip so far, is because I'm always listening to the radio, because that is appeasing to me. It is I don't know. I just have a love for music, and it's love Jesus, joyfully obey him. That was that billboard right there we just drove by. Most of my music that I have for me now, and a lot of my reels too on YouTube, are we'll say God-oriented, not trying to let's put a what do they call that? Let's put a what's the way to say it? Disclaimer. Let's put a disclaimer out real quick. Forgot what I was going to say, guys. What the heck was I talking about? Hey, BBB Freedom, how you doing? Jane, Charles, Spurgeon, morning and nightly readings are great and uplifting. I was turned on to Marsha Blackburn. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Scripture reading. I'll say this out loud. I'm not afraid to say this out loud. People may be offended by it, but you know, it's another, just one of those things. I have been given many different sites, email sites, places like that do a scripture reading, a daily scripture reading, to the point to where, you have your desk calendars where you peel the page every day, right? And you get a new scripture, right? Okay. In my lifetime,
I'm going on 58. For those that don't know, for those of you that do, sorry for repeating myself, but you know how it is. I have to remember that sometimes there are new people that will come into my channel and don't know who I am. So nevertheless, that's why I usually do that. But in my 58 years living to this point, I've run into very similar issues or very similar instances where like the app did with the change of words, father to parent, I have found those other nuances of scripture done the same way. The thought processes of the ones like Marsha Blackburn. That's not Marsha Blackburn. It's some. Yeah, I misspoke earlier. Marsha Blackburn is the somewhere in the government. What the heck was? It's definitely a Blackburn, and I want to say that it was Marsha, but I can't be 100% sure. But it's her and her husband, whatever that was. I think I still received the emails. Maybe I'll have to look for it. I might have it in my other phone's probably dead. I don't even know where it's at. I brought it, but it doesn't work. So, yeah, that was me off the road. Anyway, their way of I'm about following the Bible 100%. That's just the way I was taught. It's what I know. And when I read things and I feel, you guys need to understand my gut feeling. Almost every time in my life, I followed my gut feeling to some extent when necessary. The heck was, well, the bird came up in the light weird. I almost always have to follow my gut. I think even times when I did not, it was the wrong thing. But I would have to say almost 100% of the time that I had followed my gut, it was correct. So when I read something of an opinion by others, I'm gonna have to pull off here. I gotta go. It's from all the coffee I drank, and I didn't even finish my next cup. I had a few cups from the house. When I have those gut feelings, I follow them, and they're almost always correct. So when I read something and I get this feeling about it, look at this, I got a whole parking spot here. Hold on a second.
I figured I would smoke a fuel station, fuel stop, but that's quite a ways away. I have 3/4 of a tank and I feel like smoking, so give me a sec. One of the things about the Gulf Coast region is, oh, it's so windy. I'm on I-10 in Louisiana, and for those of you that don't know, I-10 runs along the southern end of Louisiana, and all these states pretty much. Right back over there is the Gulf Coast. It's I-20 that runs the northern end of the states, as far as the southern states are concerned, here on the Gulf Coast. But so normally whenever I read things and I get a bad feeling about what I just read, that will turn me off from reading any more of their opinion pieces, I guess you would say. I guess it could be the same way for some people with me. Whenever they feel like I have a difference of opinion and they don't appreciate what it is that I'm saying, they quit following me, you know. I'm the same way. There's nothing wrong with that. We all have our own discernment, right? Unfortunately, cognitive dissonance seems to be overwhelming right now with a lot of the public. Go ahead and close the door so it stay cool inside. It's hot out here, guys. It's about 90, 95 degrees, 90 degrees at least. At least 90. Can't believe I've been on here for 2.5 hours. I don't know that I'll be on here much longer, but I'm sure I still have plenty more that I can speak on. You know, that's one of the prayers. That's one of my prayers. That's part of my prayer. Almost every prayer. Give me the correct words to say. You know, help me say things that people necessarily need to hear and or want to hear, or appreciate hearing. I mean, I guess there's different ways of looking at that. Sometimes I think I have it's my way or the highway type attitude. But in all actuality, a lot of the times the my way or the highway attitude that I have is due to my moral compass, which people seem to have lost these days. Some people anyway, not everybody, of course. But yeah, it's like they don't have any anymore. The morality is gone, is dead in our world, it seems. I'll have to look up Charles Spurgeon. BBB freedom, hello. Happy freedom, always. Is it that time right now? Oh, that's a little later. That text here. Where's that from? My daughter, send me a picture of your head. I want to show Andy. Hey, you plan on coming here tomorrow? Do you know? So my daughter's texted me and Wayne's texted me, and I've got 10,000 notifications. I have to get back to my daughter because that's where my truck's at. So whenever I get back. I showed you guys my little Toyota that I'm driving, right? Back on the road we go.
rest of my cigar away. I will say that this cab is tight. I always have a problem closing the door. Mine's heavy, so it seems to close itself when I swing it closed. All right. But yeah, I wanted to share that tidbit of information to watch what it is that you read on the applications. Of course, we know that they're whatever. Stop here. Don't want you in here. You will find me. So anyway, yeah. No, nothing's wrong with my truck. I just didn't want to put 3,000 miles on it when I drive it enough at work. I drive it for work. I drive it approximately 100. Let me think about this for a second. 135 miles a day just for work, to go to the job and back home. And I just didn't want to throw another 3,000 miles on it making this journey down here. And it's going to be 3,000 plus. This truck was practically brand new when I rented it. It had 1,950 miles on it. And now it's fixing to go, it said fixing to go. That's a Texas thing, guys. I hope y'all can hear me fine. It is almost at 4,100. It's at 4,099 right now. So yeah, what's that? 2,200 miles? No. 2,100. Yeah, it's a lot of miles so far. And I'm not home. I'm still 1,190 miles away. 1,190 miles to go. Approximately 16 and a half hours. I'm hoping to get a straight drive through, but I don't know if I can. If I'm supposed to be getting over there at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be tough going through I'm going to say 3 to 6 hours, 3 to 6 in the morning. We'll see how far I can get down the highway before I get tired that I need to pull over. You guys won't be with me. Maybe again, you never know. Maybe I'll be back on. But I want to go ahead and cruise down the highway with the radio on, listen to some music, relaxing. One of the things that I was saying was that most of my music anymore is of Christian origin. That was the word I didn't want to use. I would rather use the word godly. Which side do I want? Tractor trailer on each side. Now we're just going to idle down the highway at 72 miles an hour, right? 70 miles an hour. Oh, less than that. Anyway, so I think I'll go ahead and let you guys go for now. Like I said, we've been on for 2 hours and showing me 2 hours and 40 minutes right now, give or take. And yeah, so it's nice talking with you guys. Let's see what other kinds of topics might come up later. More than likely, I'll be back on again later this afternoon, evening. I know I said that yesterday and I didn't do it. Everything got too dark. I'll post a couple of pictures of the different get-togethers that I've had throughout the weekend with my classmates, and then with the alumni, and then with my with the party last night. I have pictures of all that, so I'll go ahead and post them in the community. At some point, it won't be today, more than likely, because I'm driving. But yeah, definitely whenever I get back home, maybe Tuesday, something like that. You never know. But if you want to see those pictures, just make sure that I don't know if you guys get notifications when I post in the community, but if you don't follow the community, maybe you'd want to go look at that and see what all I have posted in the past. And interesting information, in my opinion, that I wanted to share with you guys. For those of you that would want to take the time to go and look and see why I posted a link on my channel. Again, just iterating how I use my channel to, I guess I could say, convey my message to you all and to anybody else that is of interest. Anyway, so talk to you guys later. Have a good, wow, it's already 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Wow. At least here in the central part of the United States. I'm about ready to go into Eastern time, which means it's going to be 4 o'clock, but I'm not there yet. Mind you all, this is the same voyage that I took. It won't be the same all the way up, but right now is the same voyage and or trip I took in 1989 after leaving Houston at midnight and waking up at 6 a.m. that morning, being asked to drive because he was getting sleepy, to find out that I was headed to the East Coast as opposed to where I thought I was going, to the West Coast. Some of you have heard that story. But this is the same route we took that night. And later, up the highway here, we'll be in the Meridian, Tuscaloosa, Mississippi, Alabama area, where I woke up. Realized I was headed to Washington, D.C., not Washington State. Maybe not necessarily a disappointment, but who knows? It's where I winded up, and it's where I still am. So, yeah. Love you guys. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for coming back all the time. If you remember, please give it a like on the way out. If you haven't already, I appreciate it. Helps in the algorithms. But I thank you all. And y'all have a good rest of the afternoon. More than likely, I'll bring you guys back later this evening. Let's see how far this 3/4 of a little bit less than 3/4 of a tape takes me. You never know, I might come back on then as the evening starts progressing. So anyway, take care. See you guys later. Bye.